What is happening? J Gaming Dude here, and I'm going to be talking about the Xbox Developer underscore Direct. And I do actually want to ask you guys about your opinions on how this Direct was handled. So please do kind of share that as much as you can in the comments below. But what I'm going to be doing is just kind of quickly running through what we've kind of saw in the Developer underscore Direct and kind of what this means, because there was a good amount of information provided for each of the games, though there weren't a lot of games, but it was quite lengthy, allowing the developers to kind of talk about their perspectives and things like that. And it may very well be like the best way to incorporate developers in a showcase so far, but we'll have to kind of see how things move forward. Spoilers ahead for the fact that there was no shadow drop, unlike last year where there was Hi-Fi Rush. So we'll just kind of go off from there. So first and foremost, we have Avowed, which I really like the logo of, launching in Feb 2024. So Avowed is the sort of first-person, what's the word? First-person sort of action RPG, similar in line with what you'd expect to see with, like, say, an Elder Scrolls. So it's almost like as if Obsidian did Elder Scrolls. I feel like that's kind of like what Avowed seems to look like, but it seems like the characters that the main player is interacting with seems a little bit more lively, a little bit more interactive. Like, it feels like they're actually evolving what Bethesda does. So hopefully Obsidian can actually supplant Bethesda, especially with the flaffery that happened with New Vegas, because New Vegas didn't get as high a Metacritic score as Fallout 3, and because of that, or it didn't get like a minimum of 90 on Metacritic or something like that, and so Bethesda distanced themselves from Obsidian in like a quiet way, and now it seems like Obsidian is on the up and up, whereas Bethesda is definitely scraping the barrel with Starfield. But yeah, and also there was a decent amount of magic combat thrown in there, sort of like the sort of first-person shooters type of deal going on. So that was actually kind of really entertaining to see. It does have me interested, but will I play it? Probably not. It's not on my platform of choice at the end of the day, and actually, none of these are. So we'll just have to kind of see what'll happen with, like, if these games are gonna hit as hard as like PlayStation or Nintendo exclusives, because that's what Xbox has been needing for a while, is like quality exclusives that do very well. Moving on from that, though, we have Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. This game finally has a date of May 21. This game has been shown a lot, starting off with like this very sort of realistic looking staircase with some lady on it. And now we did get some trailers here and there for the past maybe 2 to, if not 3 years. And so now it's launching on the 21st of May. Apparently it's going to be a fairly short title, so hopefully it'll probably be around 7 to 8 hours, I guess, because that's because the first game was about 5, if not 6 hours ish long. It didn't take long to platinum, that was for sure. So Hellblade 2 being about 7 or 8 hours seems about right. Tad bit longer than the first, or maybe it might just be another 5 to 6 hours. Again, they're probably going more for quality over quantity of game, which I genuinely appreciate. And the fact that it's taken them a while to make it, sure, like, mad respect to them. And I mean, there have been movements of like just make shorter, not very good looking games just to get more games out so it doesn't cost as much as what it would. Senua's Saga is going to be $50, or obviously day one on Game Pass, but yeah, I think this might be just Xbox exclusive now moving forward, given that Hellblade the original was multi-platform, so interesting to see that shift. Moving on from that, we have Visions of Mana. So this is actually multi-platform. I'm glad that they showed off the gameplay, because I personally have never played a Mana game, and I am very excited to jump into some now, because I didn't realize that it's an action RPG. I thought it was a turn-based RPG, whether it be Secret of Mana, and there was another Mana game, Secrets of Mana, Trials of Mana, and now Visions of Mana. So Very nice to see a lot of these action RPGs starting to kind of really take shape and appear on multiple platforms. So this is kind of Xbox leaning more into the Japanese market, which hasn't really done much, if not anything, for them. Hell, if they had actually secured Genshin, which they kind of threw away completely as part of a different thing that happened in the past, that would have been, again, like they're kind of kicking themselves for that, at least a little bit, if nothing else. So it's great to see that more Japanese games are actually coming to Xbox. However, no matter how many Japanese games do go over, I'll still, keep playing my Yakuzas and everything on PlayStation after all, because, like, again, that's kind of like where I stand. But I will be playing Visions of Mana hopefully at some point. Poised to release summer 2024. It looks great. Honestly, it looks like a lot of fun, and I'm very interested in wanting to play it. It does well with the music as well. Now, for a game that I'm very, very not at all interested in, is Our History Untold. So this is launching in fall of 2024. I don't like how they're using the word launching instead of releasing, because it almost feels like as if everything is treated to some extent like a live service almost. That it's launching, but then there's going to be more content later on, or updates later on and things like that. It feels very like leaning towards the digital side of things. But again, we are on Xbox Wire. Maybe I'm reading too much into the words. Let's just jump into it with Our History Untold. For anyone who likes their 4X games, or hell, even like, sort of, your Civilizations, your Tropicos, your so Civilization, Tropico. I'm sure there's more off the top of my head, but I can't seem to name any. It seems like a very interesting game to play. However, it's not my genre, so I don't think I'll be there unless I, see some really good gameplay guides from like people who are very much into the genre in question. Yeah, I don't think I very much don't really have much to say at all about Our History Untold, because it's just not my sort of wheelhouse. So I think we're just going to move on from that to what might be Xbox's version of Uncharted, because of course Uncharted and Tomb Raider all came from the same cloth, that being Indiana Jones, because Indiana Jones is a movie franchise from the 70s and 80s, if I remember right. I think the third movie was actually in the early 80s that it came out, and so this is supposed to take place between the second and third movies, I think. Yeah, it was between Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Temple of Doom. So it's interesting how they were able to kind of capture to some extent Harrison Ford's likeness in Indy here, especially in the gameplay reveal trailer that they showed, but also the fact that you could tell that the voice actor was Troy Baker just from listening to his voice, but also the fact that it's like Troy trying to do Harrison Ford's Indiana, but it still sounds more like Troy than it does Harrison Ford, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm just, again, pulling apart like a single person's voice acting. It does look quite exciting. Will I play it? It really depends. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Xbox exclusive, in which case probably not. Though I'm glad that like hopefully there'll be, some good gunplay, because it's of course going to be made by Machine Games. That is just going to not be some sort of like, there aren't going to be any live service element, hopefully. That's going to be specifically very sort of single player heavy. The whip is being made good use of, almost similar to like how the leash was used in what's it called, Bulletstorm. Like that was also a great use of like a whip. But yeah, just very exciting to see that most of like the presentation was actually based around Indiana Jones. Yeah, I would highly recommend checking out this gameplay reveal trailer. Even if you don't play games but you like Indiana Jones, definitely would recommend checking it out for sure, without a doubt. So yeah, that was kind of like everything that was revealed at the Xbox event. I did sort of inject a bit of like stuff that's happened in the past, different other sorts of articles that had been reported, albeit years ago, but just small little tidbits of like, what does the past mean for the future, I suppose, which we'll never truly know until it happens. So yeah, with all that said and done though, let me know what you guys thought about this video by chucking that all into the comments below, as well as what your thoughts are on all of the games that were mentioned and shown in the Xbox developer underscore direct. Yeah, like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, aiming for 200 subs by the end of the year, and also I am wanting my videos to go out to more people, and hopefully we can get another good conversation out of this video and the stuff that's been happening on the Xbox side. But with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.